I also think acceptance, self-acceptance, like really truly accepting, and like clearly seeing myself is something I really need.
I left a road full of dimes that shimmered like diamonds, her road full of diamonds that hid neath the dirt. It was wide without people or profit or commerce, filled with few people they call unlearned.
So who is Alicia Blue? Well, I see myself primarily as a storyteller. When I first started performing when I was 29, I did not know what I was doing, but I was very much like a performer, high energy, very emotional. But my true talent goes back to that moment when I was 13 of being obsessed with that story, like the hurricane. The storytelling is so much more important to me, and it's all I ever would, if I died tomorrow, like I wish I told some of the most important stories I could have told, you know? So this year, my hustle really turned into spending time just digging as deep as I could into myself and into my craft and who I am and what I need to say, rather than trying to attain like outer goals, because I was getting those things and they weren't making me happy, and it's because I hadn't hung out with myself enough. I struggled with so outer success versus inner success and the balance of those, and I kind of touched on was getting these opportunities but not inwardly feeling jazzed up about them. And I realized very quickly about 6 months ago I needed to start stoking the fire of my inner success and just kind of letting go of attainment of all the external prizes, which was petrifying to me, because coming from such a working class family who didn't support me being an artist, it was like, I'm gonna make it and I will be a big star, and like that's what I told myself. And it's kind of like scary, because I think my highest self knows that it has nothing to do with the attainment of anything physical at all. Because if I'm not stoked on myself and stoked on the work I'm making, and if I can't see my song clearly with some sense of certainty and pride, a little pride is good, then I just feel like I'm barely writing some of those songs right now. So success for me is writing songs that I feel like I'll sing in 20 years. That's honestly, that I can be honest and like say it to the world. So maybe I'm just starting to write some of those songs right now. Yeah, that's success to me. And yeah, big dreams. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to go as far as I can on a physical level with music. I mean, I would love to do it all, but.
Or what is home?
Gosh,
Just
that's
that word.
a funny question for me. I have been sleeping, I mean this, I've been sleeping on couches for 10 years. So home doesn't mean a lot to me. I mean, I get emotional when I say that, but, because maybe it does, but it doesn't. I think really being able to have this kind of inner peace wherever you are, and to follow whatever your purpose is or your soul is telling you to do. I can't think of a safer place to be, so that would be home. So if you can do that and sleep on couches, or if you can do that and you get to sleep on king size beds, whatever it is, whatever you have to do it, or whatever you are allowed to, whatever your circumstances are. Like, I don't have another skill set, really. I did go to school for English. I could go be a teacher, but I just, in my mind right now, I don't see that as an option. Home is really being happy in your mind, in your your soul, I guess, and wherever you are. It sounds so cheesy, but I've come so far, and not even physically from where I grew up, that I can't imagine some physical location being meaning a lot. There's just so many more places to go, physically, mentally. Like, who knows where you're gonna go? You know, like, my goal is like outer space. You know, not physically, probably. I'd be very petrified of that. But I mean, like, I love studying about the stars, and like, I mean, there's billions of galaxies. Like, I don't know. That's just so mind blowing to me. So that's home. This is home. My home where I grew up. It's all home. Oh, I love being alone so much. I think it's like too much. I really have to push myself to not to be social, you know. Yeah, that inner peace thing. That's my goal, you know. I think to pursue anything like music and dreams, if you're not alone and spending time alone, there's just no possible way you could have any clarity on what to do or where your path should go, or have any creative license over your life if you're not hanging out with yourself, you know. Coming from a huge family, I so valued my individuality and separation of identity from them, because I guess it was always or I was very defensive of it, especially because my identity was very different from theirs. So aloneness, solitude, you know, stokes the fire of your individualism and lights the way of your path. I can't, you know, like, spending some time in meditation, whatever that means, you know, just feeling yourself is, I wish I could just do that the rest of my life. I thought about it, you know, if I wasn't doing music, I would probably get into some kind of like spiritual studies, like Buddhist world, probably. Maybe I will still. No, I'm just kidding. I hope that love is literally the fuel behind any outward success that happens to me from now on. Does that make sense? Fear is... How can you talk about love without talking about fear? Fear is just... It's literally insanity. And it's my dream to stay in a state of love on stage and sing my songs that were fueled by some kind of love potion. Yeah. And I think that's what love is again, it's that, I just picture this like little spot in our body, in the gut, it's like peaceful and full, like this little like Superman light, and I just picture linking up with someone else that is aware of that thing, you know, and then together you guys can just walk around and zap everyone. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's a true idealist